Hi, good afternoon. My name is Celina Cordoba, and today I just wanted to take a moment out to thank people that have supported CookingMoreWithLess.com and Black Mamba Workouts. I also wanted to answer a couple questions that I've gotten about how, you stay in shape, what you eat, what are you doing. It's taking time. It's taking time to develop the proper muscles. And for me, having come from injuries, I enjoy doing core strengthening, yoga, as well as compound strengthening exercises. But in between all of the muscle building, it's really important to stay flexible, to stay limber, so that I don't actually compound what it is I'm building up on. So I just wanted to take a moment out for all those that have kids that are looking to connect the line in your abs so that you don't have a gap in your abs. This is kind of how you do it. I don't care how much you run and how much you do spinning classes. If you are not building muscle and connecting core tissue, you're going to have a gap in between your abs. And the whole point is when you get that linea negra, that line that comes down your stomach when you are pregnant, it's because your abs are separating to make room for the baby to grow. So unless you're doing stuff like literally core stabilizing exercises like the plank and jumping rope and stuff, it's going to be difficult. So this is what it looks like. I just want women right here in a straight plank position. You want to think of holding in your belly button. So you see pictures of people doing this all the time, but you have to hold in your belly button. And from this position, what I start to do is you build up the energy and the strength. If you can't hold it here for more than 5 minutes, you want to build up to where you can listen to a whole song. So you think of playing a song in the beginning and you listen to it throughout the entire song. And while you're standing here, you're not just dropping, you're not poking your butt up, you're keeping your core pulled in using your forearms as well as your abs. So when you're here, you want to lift 5 times, you can do so. I lift on both the right and the left and do sets of 10. And keep it simple in doing sets of 5. So you can see, as you're doing compound exercises, I'm using my whole core to keep myself up, as well as my arms. Using your arms. So when you're here, you can take this further. Stay in a downward facing dog. Make sure that you press your bum, your glutes, up to the sky. This strengthens and stretches your hamstrings out. But what it also does is it lengthens your back. So for us, some black women that sit like this or stand like this with a sway back, you want to think of tucking or almost using your thigh muscles to pull up and forward in your belly button. So this is cute. This is the age of sticking your booty out and having a big booty. But booty is about muscle. If you lose weight and your ass goes with it, it's because you didn't have the proper muscle to hold up your bum. So for us, people that are vegetarians or vegans, it's a little difficult to build muscle. You gotta just take it your time. Fish, I do eat fish, so I guess I'm not a vegetarian, I should say pescatarian. But all these titles and labels, the point is eat what makes you feel good. I don't eat meat and I don't eat dairy. Sorry, it doesn't feel good. And it's been over 20 years. So I might not have big hormone booty, but you want to develop what God gave you and be happy in the skin that you're in. No matter how light skin is popular or any of these stupidness, be thankful for this skin that you're in and celebrate where you are. So for me as well, all of this, if you are in a downward facing dog, yes, you can do all of your exercises here, but if you maintain and just hold a downward facing dog, you'll be able to see the state of your stomach. So you can literally pull in your belly button to your rib cage. You want it to be pulled up and in. So when you're here, you're not only strengthening your legs, but you're also using and strengthening your core as well as your arms. So I do about 10 of these in the morning on both legs. I switch and I go to my right. You want to make it really interesting? You could do dips. each time. I'll show you what they look like as well. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now what I enjoy doing is using weights on my legs. Based on the surgery that I've had, I do want to develop my quads, my glutes, my hamstrings, but I cannot put pressure on my patella. So I do very careful, methodical exercises that not only strengthen, but also tone and elongate. Again, I'm going to raise this up so you can see something in a minute. But most of us have beds. When you wake up in the morning, a lot of people are doing stuff like splits. A lot of splits and a lot of stretching of your hamstrings and your hip sockets. It's a very important muscle. So like if you're here in what you call a standard lunge, you want to make sure that your back leg is strengthened and is straightened, meaning you're pushing your heel into the floor. The same thing, make sure your knee is never over your toes, and when you're here in the morning, you could just wake up and stretch up. When you stretch for 5 minutes, you're going to see what's tight and what's not. So, I think the camera's catching this. I'm filming all this on my own, so same thing on your right side. You want to make sure that you're pulled up, but this is elongated out. So it looks like this from the front. If you're here in the front, you want to make sure that you're sitting as low as possible in your hips to open your hip sockets and to elongate from here. So you always want to make sure people lift their arms, because literally it's a way to open the channel for you to breathe. And your arms are connected to your shoulders. So if your shoulders are tight, you won't be able to lock them out. The whole purpose of people doing stuff like bridges is to almost lock out their arms. But if you're not using your connective tissue like your shoulder sockets, it's just going to be a pretty pose. So stuff like this people are into. You want to make sure your shoulders stay over or behind your ears so that your legs are free to do what you want them to do. But if you don't have a strong core and strong shoulders and arms, you're going to be out here. You want to be back where you're actually strengthening every muscle through your core. And that takes a little time. Not everything is built overnight. Same thing for myself with the injuries I've sustained, having open knee surgery. It took me years to just sit on my heels. A really long time. And that's okay. I have injuries, so even though I might want to go into a split right away, I had to build up the energy and the strength to do so. So that was just with that. Same thing. If you're here in a plank, you want to think of doing stuff to strengthen your arms. So if you're here, think of doing exercises that strengthen the arms and the legs. Yeah? So all of this, the same thing. Remember, after you do squats, make sure you bend over and stretch the gluteus maximus, minimus, and all the muscle groups you use as you're strengthening. Ladies, don't be afraid to actually, for me, I don't use any weights. Everything is calisthenics and using my own body. But because I wanted to build some muscle in my glutes after breastfeeding for 2 years, what is good to do are squats, weight-assisted squats, as well as deadlifts. So if you have a bar in front of you, it's to literally build this muscle. I'll show you in a second. Let me take a minute to raise this.